Hello and welcome. This is Katie. Thanks so much for stopping by. I am back with another project for Maker Forte, and today I am participating. Maker Forte is participating in an Instagram hop with Picket Fence Studios. We're using some life-changing blending brushes from them, and Picket Fence Studio design team is using Color Hive inks. And so for today's project, I'm just going to create a simple one-layered card using ink blending and stencils to showcase some of those finer detail brushes that come in this main kit, and you can buy them individually from Picket Fence Studios. So I've got the Evergreen stencil and Rolling Hill stencil, and I'm going to start with the neon lights. Now, my little moon mask there comes from the Tim Holtz. I can't think of exactly what the name of it is, but it'll be linked down below. The moon mask layering, you get 3 different size moons and everything. And now I'm just using one of the larger blending brushes to apply some neon lights, and then I'll come in with some blue raspberry. Now, Maker Forte doesn't have like a deep dark blue like a chip sapphire, so I thought I would throw in some purples to deepen up the color just a little bit, and just give us, that cool wintry sky. And so while I'm doing my blending, because you can see it's pretty straightforward right now, the Instagram hop is over on Instagram. This is important. It doesn't apply here on YouTube or Facebook or anything. You got to go to Instagram. So I'm going to leave my Instagram link down at the top of the description box so you guys can follow along and get you started on the hop. Okay, so you're going to follow the instructions like normal on an Instagram hop. And the companies, both Maker Forte and Picket Fence Studio, are each giving away a $25 gift certificate to their stores. So be sure and follow along on the hop. It'll list who's next, and just click and follow along, like, comment, and all that good stuff, and follow the crafters and the companies, and enter yourself in to win your chance at one of $25 gift cards for each of the companies. Now, here I'm adding in the purple. So I started with Sugar Plum, which really blends nicely with the blues, and kind of creates a darker blue there. I wanted to keep it simple, so I didn't keep going with, excess purple and things like that. But here I'm using Coronation Purple. Now, Coronation Purple is pretty strong, and one thing I'll suggest whenever you're doing any type of ink blending, tap off, like you're seeing here me doing on the glass mat, tap off the excess ink, even swirl it around so it gets into all the bristles of the brush. And that way you'll get a nice smoother blend. You'll have less chance of having those brush marks that you get when you've got a bunch of ink and you just go direct to paper and you don't kind of start off the edge and things like that. Now, I did clean off that moon mask there because I don't want to mix my blue and my purple, right? So because I'm coming in with more blue raspberry to kind of deepen and blend and soften the Coronation Purple, you want to make sure any excess ink, if you use a mask or anything like I'm doing here. Now, if you have a paper mask, like masking paper or something that you're using, you shouldn't have to worry about that. It's paper, it's going to absorb in. And here I'm adding a little bit of blue raspberry to that moon so that we can soften that white a little bit. And then I'm going to come in with, my crater mask, my layering portion of the stencil. And with what I already had on my blending brush, this was just some Eclipse Black ink and some Fog ink from Color Hive inks mixed on that just, when I was messing around. So I didn't even dip in to get extra ink. It was just what was left on my brush. And now I'm going to come in, and this is where I really like those skinny detail brushes, these little skinny guys here, because I'm not even going to tape this down. I'm just holding the stencil down with my fingers, again, brushing that excess ink off so that it's not so stark. And then circular motions, I even spread it on and spread those bristles and brush back and forth. And I'm starting with Cotswold Green, and then I'm going to come in with Everglades to deepen up and give us a little bit of variation in our tree. And I just, these little slanted guys, they're really thin, great for adding detail and texture to simple stencils like this, these open stencils. It makes applying ink a lot easier, and because they're skinny, you don't have to worry that you're going to get, like lift off, from if you scoot underneath the stencil and things like that, because it really just kind of allows you to stay on the surface and keep that detail. And I'm just going to do the same thing again and just lower that tree, I'm going to call it an evergreen, down below that taller tree. And I'm going to do my sentiment stamping before I add the third treetop. Now I am coming in with a little bit of that blue raspberry just to soften up that hilly, snowy background, we'll call it. And then bring in a little bit more blue along the edge, that left edge, and a little bit more in the moon, just to soften those, soften that glow, if you will, a little bit. But I do, you know what? Blending brushes are blending brushes. I think they all work great. Doesn't matter what company you're using. But it's nice that some of the companies have more detailed blending brushes for intricate work. So that's one thing I really like about them. But that's going to wrap it up, my friends. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Be sure and check the description box below and follow along over on Instagram to enter yourself into some giveaways. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next video.